Narrator, suspenseful, cinematic. Did you know 5 children vanished on Christmas Eve, and their bodies were never found? This is not just a ghost story. It's the true and haunting case of the Sodder family, a mystery that has baffled investigators, experts, and conspiracy theorists for nearly 80 years. In 1945, in a quiet West Virginia town, George and Jenny Sodder celebrated Christmas Eve with their 10 children. But just hours later, their home erupted into flames. The parents, along with 4 of the children, barely escaped the inferno. But 5 others, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, were still trapped upstairs. The fire raged uncontrollably for 45 minutes. By dawn, the Sodder home was nothing but a heap of smoldering ash. Yet, in that ash, no remains were ever found. Authorities quickly ruled the tragedy an accident. They claimed the fire had burned so hot, it had completely destroyed the children's bodies. But experts disagreed. Even in the most intense fires, bones almost always survive. Crematoriums burn for hours at far higher temperatures, and yet bone fragments still remain. So where were the Sodder children's remains? How could 5 bodies simply vanish into thin air? The more investigators dug, the stranger the story became. The Sodders discovered their phone lines had been cut. Someone had deliberately severed them before the fire. Even more suspicious, when George tried to start his coal trucks to rescue his children, both trucks mysteriously refused to start, despite working perfectly the day before. These weren't coincidences. They were signs of sabotage. Then came the sightings. Multiple witnesses claimed they saw the missing Sodder children alive, escorted by strangers, sometimes hundreds of miles away. One woman swore she saw them at a motel the very next morning. Another claimed she watched them leave town in a strange car. Years later, someone even mailed the family a photo of a young man they believed was one of their sons, alive but changed. Each sighting deepened the mystery and sharpened the family's grief. So what really happened that night? Some believe the Sodder children were kidnapped as part of a human trafficking operation. Others point to George Sodder's outspoken criticism of the Italian mafia, suggesting his family was targeted as punishment. Then there are those who whisper about a police cover-up. Why did local authorities insist the case was closed so quickly? Why were no serious investigations ever conducted? The more the Sodders searched for answers, the more they encountered silence or threats. That Christmas Eve, the Sodder family didn't just lose their home. They lost 5 children, and with them the truth. The fire burned away wood and stone, but what it left behind was far worse. Doubt, questions, and the unbearable weight of not knowing. Because sometimes the greatest fire doesn't burn the walls of a house, it burns certainty itself. And nearly 80 years later, the ashes of the Sodder home are cold, but the mystery still smolders.